Happy Finish Friday, everybody. I am really jazzed about showing you the finish that I am today, partly because I was asked this question on our Amy Howard at Home Before and After group. We had the most interactive, amazing Facebook group on Amy Howard at Home Before and After. If you're not a part of it, you want to be part of the almost 3,000 people that are on there, incredibly active, showing their before and after pictures, showing the kitchens that they've rescued and restored, their mantles, their furniture. A lot of people are rescuing furniture and reselling it as a business, so you're going to be so inspired and educated and learn a lot being part of our closed Facebook group with Amy Howard at Home Before and After. So this was one of the questions that I had on there, and I want to encourage you, if you haven't joined it, join it, and be part of that incredible, loving group of people, and I love how supportive they are. But also, I want you to ask me a question. I want you to be able to show me a finish, show me a piece of furniture that you want to replicate that finish, and then that way I'll use Finish Friday as an opportunity to be able to teach you how to use our products and create that. So one thing that I'm asked over and over and over again is, how do we get the restoration hardware finishes? Of course, restoration hardware has a lot of different finishes on their furniture, but there's one in particular that they use on a lot of their frames and their beds and their armoires, and they have them in different values or different colors. And I'm going to show you how to recreate that using just two products that we have here today. All right, so let's take a glance at them. I'm going to cover them up just a little bit with my hands because I don't want you to kind of see before. Look at this. That way, if you can get a close-up, what a gorgeous finish that is. That's more in a gray tone. Here's one right here that's a little bit whiter, but it still has that gray undertone to it. This one goes a little bit greener. So it basically, here's what's interesting. It's all the same process and it's all the same product. You know what's creating the difference? It's been done on all these different types of wood. So the more tannins there is in the wood of the piece that you're going to be doing, the darker it's going to be. So you see a wood like this, or a pine, or a birch, depending on the type of wood that you're working with. Most furniture is going to have been made with a hard wood. So you're not going to be working with softwoods as much, but pine is a softwood, but it doesn't have as many tannins in it. When you go into more hardwoods like cherries and walnuts and oaks, they are going to have more tannins, so the first process is going to go a little bit darker. So I'm going to show you that. But look at these amazing finishes. Aren't they yummy? We kind of call them the restoration hardware finishes because this is what people call them. That's what they look like. And I want to be able to show you how to create that. So, as always, we're coming to you live on Friday afternoon at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time from Memphis, Tennessee. And this is a great time for me to be able to answer your questions live. This is August 2nd. Can you believe it's August? I know the kids are going back to school. It's crazy. But it's still beautiful weather. We still have longer nights and the sun shines out, so we can be doing our projects in our garages. Many of you don't know, but Jean and I rescued and restored furniture for longer than I want to say, and I would work in my garage. So as long as there was sunlight and it was coming in, it was great. And people walking by at night would literally see me working in my garage. So that was when it was exciting, when I was able to get a studio and work in full time. So as always too, ask me questions. I have people here on Instagram as well as Facebook to be able to ask questions. Send me some love. Let me know where you're from, as always. And then I want to be able to answer your questions because there are no dumb questions. Everybody learns from what somebody else asks. And if you, I would love for you, if you do this finish on a piece of furniture, please share the before and after on our before and after page on Amy Howard at Home Facebook before and after page. We're going to start really sharing our before and after pages a lot more and doing shout outs to those creative artisans like yourself to be able to give you some credit and you enjoy the bragging rights. So, so let's look right here what I've got laid out. And I wanted you to be able to see the first step and kind of what it looks like. These are the raw woods. These are going more into oaks and birches here, which a lot of people, if you buy furniture frames, they're going to be birch too. This is the second step as far as using the Better with Age. Now I'm getting ready to show you. I'm going to kind of set these aside. These are blocks of wood. As with anything, when I talk to people, when I start showing them how to be able to do samples, and especially if you do this as a business, I want you to be able to have samples to show your customers. So this is a great thing to be able to have in your repertoire. It's a French word meaning your repertoire, the things that you can do when you show somebody, whether you redo kitchen cabinets or furniture, or if you are a decorative finisher and you do this, or maybe you just want to do it for yourself. You can cut these and you can have it and show people, and they're like, oh, I love that. Oh, I want that piece. I want that finish on my piece. It's hard for them to imagine it, so you've got to have finishes to be able to show them. And I like even doing it for myself to decide if I want to do it on my piece of furniture. All right, so what I'm doing today, I'm using two different products. A lot of people are like, you know, are Amy's products universal? Well, they can be used with a lot of different other products, but I do also develop them to be used together, and that's why I explained to you when I develop the product, there's a certain process that I'm wanting. There's a return on the investment of my time and energy of putting on this piece of furniture. So the Better with Age was created to be able to age wood. So you can make brand new raw wood pieces like this look very, very old like this almost instantly. It takes about 20 minutes for it to dry out. You want to make sure that the wood is completely dry. But this is not a stain. This is a reactionary product that works with the tannins in the wood, and the tannins are the oils. The darker the wood, the more tannins there are in it. And it works with the reaction with the tannins in the wood to make it look like it's aged. And it's normally going to go into a dark, a medium to a dark gray, which I love this. And here's the other tip. This won't come off. Again, this isn't stained. There's no pigment in this. So that way it's going to soak down into the wood itself. You can see from the side, it's soaked into the wood. And then I can put waxes and things on top of it that are going to add to the finish that I'm wanting to do. That's we call the restoration hardware finish, like these. So the second product that I'm going to show you that we're going to do is we're going to be working with the Ceruse Wax. This Ceruse Wax is a beeswax, and it also has calcium carbonate in it. Remember, what do we talk about? What is calcium carbonate? It's chalk. It is a proprietary blend that I developed to be able to have in a squeezable container. You can use it on top of any chalk-based paint that you like. You can use it on top of stained finishes. You can use it on raw wood if you want kind of a pickling and liming effect. But I love working with it with the Better with Age. You can't get another easy finish that looks as beautiful and as sophisticated, that's more of a furniture finish than using these two products together. They're easy peasy. Yes? Question?
Does it need to be completely raw?
Yes. So every week when we go over all these different finishes, and y'all know we throw away over 30 million tons, not pieces, tons of furniture every year in the United States, and I am all about rescuing and restoring that furniture. But there are a lot of you that are cabinet makers, and a lot of people, you can meet up with some people that are cabinet makers and have them make things for you, or you can strip your furniture. There's a lot of oak pieces, a lot of cherry and mahogany, but if you want to get this particular finish, we're going to have to strip it, or we're going to start with brand new wood. All right? So, because you can't get a reactionary look. Now, can you get this look and get it close? Yes. If you want to be able to get something close to this, you can use like the Atelier one-step paint, or the or A Good Man Is Hard to Find. I know, that's named after Gene Howard. And put the Ceruse Wax over it. But if you want to get this look, and I'm showing you how to be able to create kind of a restoration hardware look, you need to start with raw wood. So we're going to either have to strip what we're doing, or we're going to start with a brand new piece. Okay? All right, great question. Great question. All right, so I'm going to move these aside. And working with your raw wood, you want to make sure that it's nice and smooth. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your Better with Age. Make sure you stir it up again. Remember, this is not a stain. This is strictly a reactionary process that's going to work with the more tannins in the wood, the darker it's going to go. pine doesn't have as many tannins. Your oaks are going to have a lot more tannins. So I'm going to stir this up. Here's the thing. As you were working on this, constantly agitate it because it doesn't have the anti-separating agents in it. This has no VOCs. It's natural. You don't have to wear gloves or anything with it if you don't want to. But I'm going to load it up. You can just kind of get close enough so that way they can see with the lights. Let me know, guys, if the light, I have put overheads with me to try to make sure that I get things a little bit easier for you to see. I love teaching you, but if you can't see really well, then I am failing you. So I just want to make sure that you can see this. All right, so I've put this on top of raw wood and I've loaded it up. You're going to have to work on a horizontal surface. You can't work on a vertical surface with this as much because I do want to put quite a bit down. Now you don't have to puddle it after it's sat there for a minute if you want to kind of brush it out, but because it's so thin, it's going to be difficult to work on a vertical surface. So if you're working on an armoire, if you're working on a table or whatever, make sure you're laying it down like this. If it's the side of the piece, I just roll that thing over and I lay it down so that way I can work on it. This is going to take about 20 minutes to dry. Then it will cure as far as how it's going to soak down into the grain of the wood. Give it about an hour. The hotter it is, of course, the faster it's going to dry. And sometimes I will hit it with a hairdryer. So I'm going to set that aside. This is going to take, again, about 30 minutes to dry. And then this piece is a beautiful, these are beautiful pieces of oak. You see how dark they've gone. This has almost gone into a purpley color. And that's going to change when I put my Ceruse Wax on. Please make sure that after you've put the Better with Age on that it's completely dry. Don't do the next step until it is. And if you want to be really safe, just let it dry overnight. This isn't going to take very long for you to be able to do this next step. All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of my Ceruse Wax. You know, this is one of our best-selling products, and it's so easy and so fun to use. So I just load it up a little bit. I'm just going to use one of our chip brushes. And when you are working with a wood like this that has a heavy grain, it's nice to do it against the grain when you start to take it off. If you want to lay it on with the grain, that's okay. Because in order to be able to get it down in there, you want to make sure that you go against it. So I'm just going to apply it like this. Now I'm going to go the opposite direction. Can you see the difference? See how it's going a little wider and it's getting down in the grain? Remember, guys, if you're catching us live, please ask me a question so I can answer it. That allows everybody else to be able to learn from your questions. Now, look at this. Now, in the perfect world, I want this to sit on here a little bit longer. You know, as I was showing you these different finishes, here's some that you can see the before, literally, as far as laying those out. Look at all of the degrees of finishes there. I'm going to cover that up because I want you to be able to see how gorgeous it is in the after. See how all these are going to have different looks? I just love this darker color. So I would like, in the real world, I would like for this to sit for about 20 minutes. But I'm going to go against the grain this way, and I'm going to pull this out with my 4/0 steel wool. Now, if I take out too much, guess what? I can just come back and add just a little bit more. Because here's the great thing. Once I've allowed this to kind of set up and dry, I can come back and buff it, and it's going to have this gorgeous protected sheen. You don't have to put anything else on top of this. After you've done it, a lot of people will say, do I have to come back with a sealer? No, guys, it's sealed. With the Better with Age on raw wood, it's actually soaked down into the wood itself. And the Ceruse Wax is the final application. You don't put anything else on top of this. Yes, question?
Will the wax need to be reapplied over time?
If it is on, like, you can do this finish on a floor if you want to. Would that not be a great floor? Guys, here's the deal. Look at me for just a second, Facebook. So here's the deal. Most oak floors, if you don't know, they're made out of oak. Did I say oak floors? Most wood floors are made out of oak. Now, rare occasions in really older buildings, they'll be pine, but as a rule, let's say 95% of the time, they're oak floors. All wood floors are. So if you strip them down, gosh, would this not be an amazing floor? So, and if you don't know, we are returning back to people loving to wax floors and buff them. I remember years ago, I'm older than most of y'all, but my mother always would wax her floors. She would use a Johnson paste wax, and she would use one of those buffer, it had those wheels on the bottom. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Give me a shout out. Had those bristles on the bottom of it, and we'd hold that thing up. It would be kind of scary when it would get away from us, but people are returning back to using natural ingredient products. They're trying to get away from all the chemicals, so you can use. So, okay, I'm sorry.
Do I need to seal the high tannin wood, such as mahogany, before doing the cerusing wax to keep it from bleeding through?
No, this is a totally different process. So I'm going to use this as an opportunity to answer this. So let's say when you are painting a piece of furniture with the one-step paint, and you are going over an existing varnish type finish, sometimes the tannins in the wood will bleed through and you'll have little red or pink dots. I always tell people that's when you're painting with the one-step paint. I'll usually paint it first because it only happens a small percentage. And if I start to see those little dots, I'll just come back, I'll put some shellac or I'll put our matte sealer, let that dry, and then continue on. But that's when we're painting mahoganies and cherries, those really heavy, reddy woods with a lot of tannins in it with one-step paint. Today we're working with Better with Age. I am showing you how to be able to get this look on raw wood. So it's okay, the tannins aren't going to show up like this because we're not covering them up with paint. They're going to be beautiful. They're going to look like this. Let's glance this again, because I know on social media a lot of people, they're popping on and they're popping off. Today I am showing you how to be able to work with raw wood with our Better with Age. Wood is not a stain, it's a reactionary product that gives you a look like nothing else. Guys, there's nothing else like this on the market. We call this kind of the restoration hardware look, but it's just yummy. Yes, next question.
What kind of wood species are the samples?
So these are a combination of birch, oak, and I think this is mahogany. This one's cherry. This one's cherry. That allows you to be able to see what that looks like. This is mahogany. See all the tannins in that? Is that just yummy? Guys, there's so many inexpensive pieces of furniture out there that are cherry and mahogany that you can strip. This is pine. This is oak. And I think this one's hickory. So hickory, oak, pine, mahogany, and cherry. So look at that. See how they're all different? Love it. I just love, love, love. Love all of it. Okay, so yes, I love my questions.
Is the cerusing wax a water-resistant finish?
It's not necessarily in the fact that, meaning once you put it on, allow it just to get harder and harder. It's not something that you want to take and put water on top of, no. You want to be able to, it's a petroleum-based wax. It does have a natural beeswax in it, and the calcium carbonate, but you need to just make sure it stays away from water. I mean, it will repel water when I've got it on a piece of furniture. It's things like that. It takes care of it, and it protects the finish beautifully. Was there another question? Are we good? Instagram, are we good? All right. So let me just show you again. So here is the before. Here is the raw wood that I'm working on. I did the Better with Age, and it turned this gorgeous dark gray with a little bit of lavender color in it. I'm going to put just a little bit of my cerusing wax on here. And as I showed you just a little bit earlier, I can do it with the grain. That's okay. But you see about how much I put on. Make sure you come back against the grain because that gets down into the crevices. And if I was working on a piece of furniture, I would want to make sure that I allow this to sit on here for a few minutes. But so I'm going to come back against the grain like this. Look at this. Is this yummy, yummy, yummy? I love it. Love, love, love. And I'm going to thin it out just a little bit. And then I would like for you to leave it alone a few minutes. I want you to be able to allow this to dry because I can come back now with a lint-free rag. And when I say dry, 30, 40 minutes, you're good, guys. And then you can come back and you can buff this. Gosh, this is killer. And you'll have a gorgeous, once it's kind of come to tight, and you can buff this and you'll have a beautiful, beautiful finish. Yes?
Would you do a stencil before the wax?
I love this person. What's their name?
Carol?
Carol. Hey, Carol. Okay, now I'm gonna get excited. Can you tell I'm passionate about my products? This is real, guys. This isn't like I'm sitting in some office on a computer. I am developing these products and the processes and the finishes to be able to turn around and teach you. So here's a trick. You're gonna love this. Oh, and share this, because I'm telling y'all tips and tricks that nobody else would tell you. So I want you to be sure and share this video with your friends online. They're gonna love you for it. Okay, so let's say you come with a raw piece of wood like this. I'll lay a stencil down. You can do a Mylar stencil. You can do one of my mesh stencils with my sister company in Maker Studio. Lay that down. You can take the Better with Age, make sure it's agitated and it's stirred up real good, put it in one of those little misters. Mind blown, guys. And mist this over the stencil. It will go through and you will have whatever pattern or design is on there, and it'll be soft, soft, soft. Again, it's a reactionary finish. This is not a stain. So let's say, and I've done this before on a piece and it was damask. Oh, so you could do this on the front drawers and have a damask design that's very, very soft, that is just that aged wood. Do you not love that? Oh my gosh, somebody please do this and be able to show. You're gonna enjoy some major bragging rights on this one. So yes, you can. Great, is there another question? All right, guys. So hopefully today was fun, it was easy. Know that I'm all about repurposing your furniture. I love creating finishes for walls, for floors, for furniture, for cabinets, all lamps, anything that we're going to be able to use in our homes as decor items to make them more beautiful, because I want you to enjoy the bragging rights, but I want us to all have the fun of crafting a beautiful life. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody. See you at the estate sales.